interactive, one of the most educative, and one of the most interesting show on radio, because here we talk about everything that has to do with maritime and blue economy, and you know, an economy that is sitting on trillions of naira and dollar and all of that. So today, as usual, we're going to have a very interactive session. We have a guest that's on his way, and you know, like we've always said every Sunday, let us come here and unwind for now. Between now and the next 2 hours, let us unwind and check what's happening within the maritime industry. My name is Prince Chilakao.
And my name is Dele Utomi. This is the
way,
Maritime and Border Show on VOP 90.3 FM.
See the way he says his name is Dele. He told me, as in,
yes, like you said, Francis, it's a wonderful day, very beautiful one, the 18th day of January 2026. As usual, we have a guest at the show. He's on his way here. He's a president of Aflon, and Otumba Frank Ugunojemite, that's his name. He's a maritime person with about over 30 years of experience within the sector. We talk all things maritime and, of course, the border. Like Francis said, this is an industry that is worth trillions of naira. Experts say that there's a potential of making as much as 90 trillion naira every year from this sector. And like we keep saying, by 2024, the entire gamut of the agencies within the Nigerian maritime sector will be able to make just a little bit below 8 trillion naira, and it's a far cry from what the potentials are. It's so the purpose of this program is to unearth those areas of opportunities where Nigerians can exploit, create opportunities for others, for themselves, to make money, to make a living, and then to grow the economy.
You're very right. You're very right. And I would say that in the last 2 going to 3 years, we've seen substantial improvement within the industry. Last year was actually an interesting year for the industry, and a lot of milestones
were achieved. Sure.
And we're hoping that we would have more achievements this year as we progress. But before we continue with the show, let us.
Francis, you've not told them the topic for today on today's show.
Go ahead.
Okay, today we are looking at this topic. This is a topic. Is the Nigerian Shippers Council effective as the economic regulator of the maritime sector? That's a question that we need the experts to answer.
Dili, see this.
Stick with us.
You know why I didn't want to talk about this topic is because, should I say that practitioners within the industry have always come out to say they don't even know what the Shippers Council is doing, and then we've also had the Shippers Council say that the problem has been the problem of not being given
the power to act.
So, but I think it is rather very, very sad and shameful that a government agency would not have what it takes to act. So why is the agency there? Why are people earning salaries?
And of course, at the beginning of the week, in the course of the week, for about 2-3 days, stakeholders within the industry were up in arms, or rather, let me not put it that way. There was a strike action by stakeholders, especially freight forwarders and licensed customs agents, who were protesting the arbitrary increase by shipping companies. And it's unfortunate because the shipping companies told us, what they said is that they were given they were authorized, or they had an agreement with the Nigerian Shippers Council to increase the charges, which they did, and but
No,
of
Dile,
course,
I think we will dive into that more when we're done with the news that happened,
yes.
because it's
No, it's
actually
because you raised when I raised the topic, you are now giving sort of bringing some kind of excuses on why they were
no,
not
no,
able
I
to
wasn't. No,
perform.
I was playing the devil's advocate.
Oh,
It's
okay.
allowed.
Okay,
You know,
so let's deal with the news.
all right.
Things in the news for over the week.
Oyetola renews call for ban on wooden boats amid rising waterway accidents. Dr. Adegboyega Oyetola, the Minister of Maritime, Marine and Blue Economy, is urging state governments across Nigeria to prohibit the use of wooden boats for commercial water transport. Instead, he advocated for investment in safer modern fiber and aluminium vessels to prevent tragic accidents that have claimed numerous lives. He emphasized the need for immediate action following these heartbreaking incidents, which have highlighted the critical importance of safety on Nigerian waterways. The minister called on waterway users to prioritize their safety by adhering to essential safety protocols. He cautioned against traveling at night due to poor visibility and urged passengers to always wear approved life jackets. Waterway users must refuse to board rickety or overloaded boats, he warned, stressing that no journey is worth risking one's life. Oyetola acknowledged the ongoing tragedies as unacceptable and underscored the urgent need to tackle the underlying causes of waterway accidents. He pointed out that the persistence or use of poorly constructed wooden boats, which are often overloaded and inadequately maintained, significantly contribute to these incidents. Such boats are particularly vulnerable to structural failure, especially in adverse weather conditions. Wooden boats deteriorate rapidly due to constant exposure to water, leading to cracks and leaks, he explained. They are unstable, easily capsized, and typically lack essential safety features. Many operate without proper regulations, putting passengers at risk. He concluded by emphasizing that ensuring safety on Nigeria's waterway demands a united effort and political commitment at all government levels. Water transportation is vital to our blue economy, Oyetola asserted. However, it must be safe, regulated, and sustainable. I mean, this is something we've been waiting to hear, and I would say it's not just about talking about it, but I think that government should take steps immediately. We should have the National Assembly coming out with a bill prohibiting the uses of wooden boats
As
on our
means of
waterways.
transportation.
Exactly, we need to, because a lot of lives have been lost, and many more will be lost if we don't take such drastic decisions.
Yeah, it's a nice one to hear the minister take a tough stand against the practices that endanger lives, particularly the use of wooden boats here, and again, the non-use of provided life jackets and other not too good practices that we have some of the operators within the industry do. These do not augur well for the development of the sector. Aside from the fact that lives are usually at risk, especially when there's a little bit of a mishap, maybe capsizing of boat or boat hitting an object with that's underwater object sticking out or anything like that. It's usually there's always been casualties week in week out. We keep hearing about boats capsizing and their lives lost. Like I was saying was it last week
Yeah, it
that
was last week.
I know somebody who was very close to if one of the casualties, and they for days they were crying because a young man died, and a vibrant, sociable, likable young man. He was going to do his business, crossing from um, the Papa to the Snake Island. On his way back in the boat, the boat capsized because it hit one of the objects that was protruding underwater that was not properly submerged, and capsized. Six of them died. Four were able to be rescued, and it was rather unfortunate. I think the minister should match his word with action. Some of these things should be banned, or proper standard set for operation within the sector. Now, moving on, NSC slams brakes on port charges hike, other shipping firms to engage stakeholders. In a decisive move to protect port users and restore confidence in Nigeria's maritime economy, the Nigerian Shippers Council has directed shipping companies, agents, and terminal operators to immediately suspend any review or upward adjustment of charges pending full stakeholders' engagement. Nigeria's Port Economic Regulator made it clear that no shipping line, agent, or technical operator is permitted to implement new tariffs without proper consultation with affected stakeholders. The directive follows growing concern within the maritime sector over unilateral charge reviews capable of disrupting port operations and increasing the cost of doing business. The Council clarified that while recent tariff adjustments were approved strictly within its statutory mandate, such approvals followed a transparent, structured, and consultative regulatory process. According to the NSC, the reviews were informed by extensive technical engagements examining cost drivers, operational realities, investment obligations, and regulatory compliance. However, these engagements did not amount to blanket or automatic approvals. Final decisions, the Council explained, were reached only after rigorous internal, technical, and financial evaluations guided by empirical data, regulatory benchmarks, and prevailing economic conditions. Despite this, the NSA has now ordered all port users providers to halt any planned charge reviews until they have properly consulted their stakeholders. Yeah, reacting to this, my own view from this is that it was rather reactive in nature, as in, like I was saying, there was a strike action by stakeholders within the maritime sector for about the first 2-3 days of the week, when they went to the administrative office of the Mediterranean Shipping Company, one of the shipping companies that operate in Nigeria, because of the hike in charges. They, on their own part, had said that the Nigerian Shippers Council had approved the increase in charges, and this, of course, has of course, an implication, because it drives up the cost of doing business, and then the stakeholder, the clearing agents and freight forwarders could not take it. They were up in arms with the shipping companies. When they got there, they were told that for the first 2 days they were on strike. Of course, they got to know that the Nigerian Shippers Council gave the approval for it, and then it wasn't an easy one for the Nigerian Shippers Council, because they had to quickly write this letter that I just read now, to say that the whole thing has been suspended.
The funny thing is that I find it very, very. I find it very, very funny that after the Shippers Council had given an approval to the fact that they supported so after the Shippers Council had come out publicly to say that they are in support of this new tariff. They're also coming out to say, no, 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 no. We want this thing suspended. We want that. I don't know how the system works. I don't know why we keep having this back and forth with government agencies. We just keep having back and forth. I find it very, 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 very unhealthy. As the regulator of the system, you cannot afford to give different directives at the same time. If you knew from day one that that was not going to fly, if you knew from day one that the stakeholders were not engaged properly, why would you give approval to shipping lines to increase their rates? And this is why people have been accusing the Nigerian Shippers Council that they seem to be compromised. They seem to be working for the, should I call them the shipping lines, and representing foreign interests rather than local interests. All right, going forward, CRFFN to spend 1.5 billion on staff salaries, freight forwarders training, and others. The Council for the Regulation of Freight Forwarding in Nigeria, CRFFN, is proposing to spend a total budget of 1.54 billion for the 2026 fiscal year, with significant allocations directed toward personnel costs and capital projects aimed at strengthening the freight forwarding sector. This was contained in details of the budget uploaded on the website of the Budget Office of the Federation. According to the budget breakdown, personnel costs constitute the largest share of expenditure at 784 million, representing over half of the total allocation. This includes 670 million for salaries and wages, while allowances and social contributions account for 114 million. Under social contributions, the council has earmarked 32 million for the National Health Insurance Scheme, 66 million for contributors, pension, employers' contribution, and 7 million for the employees' compensation scheme. Other recurrent costs total 270 million, covering overhead expenses across various categories. Well, as we know, the CRFFN is more like a government body that is meant to regulate freight forwarding activities in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And they've come out with a budget. Dilly, before you came out saying that they're going to spend about 1.54 billion.
Yes.
That's quite a lot of money. But my problem with that money is that should I say more than 50% of that money is going into staff salary. And I'm asking, what kind of staff are they keeping? Are they keeping lecturers? Are they, we should, the association should be more focused on training and retraining and refocusing freight forwarders. But when you now have a budget that is, under the weight of salaries and wages, I think something is not adding up at all.
Yes, I think you have a point there. But well, I do not know the details of this expenditure. I don't know what the executive, the registrar ends, or the other members of staff of CRFFN. Well, let's just hope that it will be more transparent, as it's as transparent as it looks, that the amount quoted here is exactly the amount needed to carry out some of those functions that they're required to do. But like you said, priority should be given to training of freight forwarders, staff, and everyone within the sector, like they are supposed to do, because the setting up of CRFFN was for the sole purpose of making sure that freight forwarders, those who contribute to the growing of the economy in the maritime sector, get the appropriate orientation, the appropriate training, and the appropriate welfare packages that they are supposed to get. Well, let's hope that it goes the way things go the way they are supposed to be this year. That we've learned a lot from the outgone year, and the new year is going to usher in better performances, better operations for from the that department, that agency, and for everybody within the
Yeah, but
the sector.
I think also that the problem the agency is having is the fact that if you're spending so much money on salaries, now I'm beginning to see why other unions within this sector are attacking the CRFFN, because you're having a budget of 1 point something billion, and you're
1.54 billion.
yes, and you're spending 670 million on wages. I mean, who does that?
Yeah. Well, we also have to ask. We have to know how many. What's their staff strength?
You know, that's what I'm saying. You don't overburden the establishment with staffs.
Well,
It should be, for me, I think that they need to go back and tinker with that budget and let it be more focused on training those who are within
supposed to benefit from
industry.
their operations.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Moving on. Truckers petition Tinubu over alleged state-backed extortion, violence on Lagos roads. The Council of Maritime Transport Unions and Associations, COMTUA, has issued a strongly worded letter to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu urging urgent presidential intervention over what it described as the Lagos State government's failure to curb widespread extortion, harassment, and violence against truck drivers and citizens. In the letter dated January 13, 2026, and signed by COMTUA National President Adeyinka Arewu, the union accused the administration of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of neglecting its constitutional responsibility to protect truckers operating across key corridors of the state. COMTUA alleged that the unchecked activities of extortion rings have led to repeated vandalism of trucks, serious injuries to drivers, and in several tragic cases, the loss of lives, turning Lagos roads into zones of fear for transport workers. According to the union, multiple petitions, formal complaints, and peaceful protests submitted to state authorities over time have failed to yield any meaningful response, creating what it described as a climate of impunity. The group warned that the continued silence of the Lagos State government could be interpreted as either gross negligence or tacit support for the criminal elements terrorizing truck drivers. Central to the complaint is the alleged conduct of the members of the Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria, RTAN, who COMTUA accused of forcibly collecting arbitrary levies from non-members under the guise of union dues. The letter also raised an alarm over the activities of Lagos State Trucks and Cargo Committee, last COC, described as an illegal body purportedly operating under the Lagos State Ministry of Transportation, which allegedly imposes so-called voluntary tickets on every truck. In Amu-Odofin local government area, COMTUA claimed that hoodlums acting in the name of local council extort truckers using a fraudulent road maintenance ticket as justification for their actions. The situation, the union said, is equally dire in the Lekki axis, where at Eleko Junction in the Bejuleki local government area, a combined group of livestock operatives and community youths allegedly extort 6,000 naira from every truck on daily basis. This is worrisome, man. This is worrisome. We brought in a couple of truck operators here before, including Mr. Rowan, who wrote this letter once, and rather than the extortion and the illegalities being perpetrated by non-state actors abating, the thing is deteriorating further with all these things that they pay, and of course I bear witness to the fact that Mr. Rayon is an avid writer, because I know it's on several platforms. You see, like what this letter was picked from one of the platforms where he puts letters. He writes virtually on weekly basis to the state government to try and find a way of curbing these the legal activities of these non-state actors who extort money from truck drivers. And this, of course, the consequence of the action is that prices are jerked up. The truck driver cannot operate freely, and like he stated here, sometimes they are injured, their trucks damaged, and sometimes there are losses of lives. It's in modern day time in 2026. This shouldn't be happening. People should have easy access through the roads to do their business.
Yes, really, for me, it's not just about truckers, but it's about Nigerians in
The
general.
society as a whole.
Yes, because what we're complaining about in Lagos is happening in Onitsha, it's happening in Osaba, it's happening in Owerri. We just have a lot. The problem with Nigeria today is that there are a lot of non-state actors who are becoming too.
Having given leverage
yes,
to act on the
I
road.
mean, I passed through that my two axes. It's not only truckers that have been affected. If you go to the ports and clear your car, and you're passing through the mile two,
Right, of
they
course.
come after you like bees. And you see policemen there, they won't help you, they won't stop them. You see the military men,
Customs,
they won't stop
everybody.
them. So something is wrong. We need to get these urchins off our streets, off our roads, to ensure the safety and safety of Nigerian people. So good, they are talking about Lagos State, and I believe that it doesn't only end in Lagos, but at least we expect that Governor Sanwo-Olu will do something about it, and all those who are involved should do something about it as well.
Yeah.
Nigerian Customs begins implementation of standard operating procedure for courier companies under delivered duty paid. The Nigerian Customs Service has announced the commencement of a new standard operating procedure (SOP) for regulating courier companies operating under the delivery duty paid (DPP) Incoterm, which will provide a unified framework for registration, manifest submission, declaration, valuation, clearance, delivery, and compliance monitoring in line with the global best practices. According to the press release issued by the Deputy Controller of Customs, National Public Relations Officer Abdullahi Mewada, indicated that the Delivered Duty Paid initiative derives its legal foundation from International Chamber of Commerce (ICC) Incoterms 2020, relevant sections of the Nigerian Customs Service Act 2023, WCO Safe Framework of Standards, Revised Kyoto Convention, WTO Trade Facilitation Agreement, NCS Courier Clearance Guidelines, and the Nigerian Postal Services Act 2023. Under the newly commenced procedure, courier companies intending to operate the DDP regime are requested to obtain a license from the NCS headquarters License and Permit Unit under the Tariff and Trade Department. They are expected to submit all mandatory documents including CAC registration papers, valid courier licenses, compliance bonds, and a formal application to operate under DDP. It is pertinent to know that all licensed operators are required to submit an advanced electronic manifest (AEM) 24 hours before shipment arrival, clearly indicating DDP as the Incoterm and providing complete details such as HS codes, item descriptions, values, origins, and consignees in line with the WCO Safe Framework of Standards. I mean, for me, this is good. It's going to check the abuse within the system. I remember towards the tail end of last year, they accused couriers of facilitating the movement of hard drugs. So it's a good one. It's something that we should welcome. It helps to sanitize the system.
Yeah. Streamlining their operations. Okay. Stakeholders applaud Shippers Council boss over shipping charges hike suspension. Maritime stakeholders across Nigeria's shipping and logistics sector have commended the Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Shippers Council, Dr. Pius Akuta, for his swift and decisive intervention in the recent attempt by shipping companies to review shipping charges in Nigeria. Clearing agents, importers, exporters, freight forwarders, and port users and port service operators described Dr. Akuta's timely action as a stabilizing force that prevented prevented what could have escalated into a major crisis within the nation's maritime and trade ecosystem. The controversy followed reports of a proposed upward review of shipping charges by some shipping companies operating in the country. Industry observers noted that the proposed adjustments were introduced without sufficient consultation with key stakeholders, raising concerns over potential disruptions at the ports and increased cost of doing business. However, the Nigerian Shippers Council, under Dr. Akuta's leadership, promptly intervened by summoning the shipping lines, engaging relevant industry operators, and insisting on broad stakeholder consultation before any new charge could be implemented. The intervention effectively halted the unilateral process and restored confidence across the sector. Well, to me, my own take on this is this. The shipping companies cannot increase charges without the consent of the economic regulator, the Nigerian Shippers Council. So I really do not understand why they are trying to shift the blame, because obviously there was a meeting between the Nigerian Shippers Council and this particular shipping company, and they informed them that they were going to increase the charges, and they went on to do it. I think this is reactive. It's because there was an uproar, there was a strike action by sections of the stakeholders within the Nigerian economy. And of course, our guest today is here. We'll talk in-depthly about it because he was deeply involved in it. It was because of the actions of the stakeholders. That's why their hands were forced.
That's why I said I'm shocked.
Issue that letter.
I'm shocked and miffed at the Nigerian Shippers Council, because I remember on this show we saw when they gave the approval, tactical approval, in the tacit approval, that the shipping lines should go ahead. And now they are turning and saying as if they don't know anything about it. I don't know.
But again, even the letter that they wrote to the shipping company did not say they should not increase. What they are saying is that, because they gave the approval, what they are saying is that they should go and talk to the stakeholders.
You don't give approval and then ask people to go and discuss.
Can you imagine?
It's for me. It's not. It's
ridiculous.
Shipping charges hike. ANACA says it's not yet over. The Association of Nigerian Licensed Custom Agents, ANACA, has said that its standoff with shipping lines over the recent increase in charges is not yet over until the outcome of a stakeholders meeting, which has been slated for 21st of January by the Nigerian Shippers Council. Addressing members of the association after a closed-door meeting with management of MSC Shipping on Tuesday, Zonal Coordinator West, Alhaji Femi Anifowoshe, acknowledged that the Shippers Council and MSC Shipping has agreed to suspend the charges, but warned that the association's next action would depend on the outcome of the upcoming stakeholders meeting. He also informed the clearing agents that MSC Shipping has agreed to refund anyone who has paid the increment and to cancel the 2 days demurrage slammed on cargoes due to the protest by agents at the shipping company. This protest was held on, I think,
on Monday and Tuesday. Yeah, Monday and Tuesday.
So the truth of the matter is that the Nigerian Shippers Council cannot exonerate itself from what is going on. They should own up. They should be able to say,
responsibility.
Yes, they should be able to say, we gave this approval based on this, nothing else.
Okay, Adeyanju sets agenda for marine and blue economy. Minister urges FG to prioritize trawler operations. The Deputy President of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Comrade Adewale Adeyanju, has highlighted key aspects of the maritime sector that the federal government should prioritize through the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. Adeyanju, a former President General of the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, recently called on the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Alhaji Adegboyega Oyetola, to sustain the momentum of Nigeria's International Maritime Organization IMO Category C seat by enforcing the Cabotage Act. This, he said, will enable trawler operations to thrive in the country. The unionists reiterated that fishing activities have the potential to provide jobs for Nigerians, especially seafarers, noting that revenue generation from this subsector remains an untapped gold mine. He further lamented that foreign dominance in the fishing and trawling business sends a wrong signal message to global maritime community. Adeyanju tasked the minister with introducing innovations that could serve as game changers. The NLC top brass further noted the gangway and onboard security are key elements. He stressed the maritime academies such as the Maritime Academy of Nigeria Man Oron in Akwa Ibom State, the Nigerian Maritime University NME Okeren Kuku, Delta State, and the Federal College of Fisheries and Marine Technology on Victoria Island, Lagos, should be adequately funded to produce world-class seafarers who can compete favorably with their foreign counterparts. This is a nice call by the Deputy President of Nigerian Labour Congress, Comrade Adeyanju. I think personally, this is one area where I think the Nigerian government has dropped the ball. We used to hear that in those days, as young people growing up, that a lot of Nigerians were invested in trawlers, in fishing trawlers, big fishing trawlers that go fish and they bring in the proceeds within the country, and the prices were low then. Of course, we were made to understand that ours is one of the richest continental shelf. I mean, the coast, the West African coast, which Nigeria also shares from, is one of the richest in terms of biodiversity, in terms of all the things that we can get from it, fishes of different types and everything. But we have, like I said, the Nigerian government has dropped the ball in this area, giving licenses to foreign fishermen or fishing companies that have big trawlers to do the fishing around there, without encouraging the local fishermen to get the proper trawlers, the proper equipment to do the fishing along the coast. I mean, there's a lot to be gained from there. Enough food for the populace, income that comes from maybe the taxes that they pay while they do their business, and a whole lot of things, people that will be employed. So I think it's a nice call by the Deputy President of Nigerian Labour Congress, Comrade Adeyanju.
Yeah, I totally agree with him, and I think that we should look more at grooming our own, home grooming, than focusing on foreign. Ikorodu Ferry Terminal reopens after water hyacinth disruption. Commuters in Ikorodu can return to water transport as Lagos authorities opened the Ikorodu Ferry Terminal after months of disruption caused by water hyacinth. The Ikorodu Ferry Terminal will be open for passenger operations on Monday, 19 January 2026, bringing relief to thousands of daily commuters who rely on ferry services along the Ikorodu axis. The Lagos State Waterways Authority last week confirmed the reopening after completing safety checks and clearing navigational obstacles that forced the terminal's closure in October last year. The terminal was shut down in October 2025 due to severe water hyacinth infestation that made navigation unsafe for ferry operators and passengers. During the closure, ferry services were diverted to Ibeshi Terminal and Ofin Jetty, leading to longer travel times and increased pressure on alternative routes. Congratulations to the Lagos State government. But I keep asking, this is how many years down the line we have not been able to find a lasting solution to the menace of this water hyacinth.
Well, I think, yes, that's also something that we should have for a very long, because since the first time it was discovered in Nigerian waters was way back in 1986. And scientifically, I learned that these weeds have some benefits. They can be converted to gas, cooking gas and other forms of gases. They can be crushed and be used for different kinds of things. I think the ways and the manner of harvesting this water hyacinth should have been invested in over such a long period. We are talking about 40 years ago. And, I don't know. We have a lot of places where we can tap into things and then create more jobs and create more opportunities for Lagosians and Nigerians in general. Well, moving on. War on street urchin. Lagos Task Force arrests 281 suspects, issues phone numbers for complaints. Okay. In continuation of the cleanup enforcement operations and its commitment to rid the state of criminal elements and street urchins, popularly known as Omotaku, who terrorized Lagos motorists and forced them to part with their hard-earned money, the Lagos State Task Force have arrested a total of 281 suspects across the state. According to Tokunbo Wahab, the Lagos State Environmental Task Force chairman, the areas covered during the week-long operations included Lekki Phase 1, Ikoyi, Lekki-Ajah Expressway, Bodilon, Animashaun Bus Stop, Akunwojo Road, Egbeda, Fadeyi Bus Stop, Costain, Funshaw Williams Avenue, Victoria Island, Apogbon, Jibowu, Yaba Phase 1, Lagos Island Palm Grove, Ojuelegba Road, Surulere, and other adjoining roads on both island and mainland, where the presence of undesirable elements, popularly known as Omotaku, and other street urchins was observed. All suspects have since been arraigned in court. Lagosians, particularly motorists, should promptly reach out to the Lagos State Task Force whenever Omotaku or other street urchins constitute a nuisance within their vicinity. Call the numbers listed here are 09137555111 or 09138555111 for swift operations. I mean, this is a laudable one. We are talking about the
drivers,
the effect of the
area boys.
effect of the area boys. These are also the area boys, although there's another name for them. Omotaku. Yes. Yeah, in Lagos. So it's a good thing that the Lagos State government is now taking action to rid the state of the activities
Dilly,
of this,
don't be too quick to give accolades to the Lagos State government, because I know that there's a problem with continuity and sustainability when it comes to such things. What tomorrow you just see that the government.
You think this is a political move?
Yeah, but I mean,
because when the election is next year.
Yes, don't forget that all the routes that Okada have been banned, Okada have come back to most of those routes, and the government is pretending as if nothing has happened. All right, Nigeria's maritime sector scandal, sharp practices and regulatory failures threaten economy. A new white paper from the Sea Empowerment and Research Center, CERIC, exposes widespread sharp practices by shipping lines and agents in Nigeria's ports, costing the economy an estimated 225 to 450 billion annually. The report alleges regulatory capture, weak oversight, and systematic failures, threatening trade facilitation, inflation control, and investors' confidence. Shipping lines withhold refunds, impose arbitrary charges, and engage in speculative demurrage billing. Regulatory agencies are perceived as compromised, allowing impunity to thrive. National single window regime is undermined by manual capacity and human discretion. Legislative oversight is weakened by lack of transparency and accountability. Logistics-related charges account for 30 to 40% of landed import cost. Operational disruptions cost the economy 500 to 700 billion annually. Sharp practices contribute 0.7 to 1.7% points to headline inflation. In all of this, there's a recommendation. 1. Public release of legislative committee findings on shipping line investigations. 2. Statutory reform timelines with interest penalties. 3. Prohibition of speculative demurrage billing. 4. Mandatory local cargo release authority. 5. Alignment of shipping practices with national single window regime. The report calls for immediate action to address these issues and promote transparency, accountability, and good governance in Nigeria's maritime sector. I mean, well, a lot is being said here, and I think everything that is said here, to a large extent, falls within the Nigerian Shippers Council. They seem to be the ones in the forefront taking all the blame. And I kept asking, what is it that the Shippers Council is not doing right? And why are they creating so much enmity for themselves within the industry?
Oh, well, all these are more questions that Otumba Frank Okunodemite, our guest for today's show, will answer, because he's been nodding his head to a whole lot of things that we've been saying here. We were taking a look at the events that made the news in the course of the week, and he's me here listening keenly, taking notes, and nodding his head, and probably disagreeing with some of the points we made. But he will have to answer some of these questions, because today our topic is the Nigerian Shippers Council. Is the Nigerian Shippers Council effective as the economic regulator of the maritime sector? Otuba, you're welcome to the program, to the Maritime and Border Show, sir.
Thank you for having me, Prince and Lady Tommy. It's been my pleasure to be here today. Nice to be here to you guys.
All right, sir. Sir, what do you think? In the course of the week, Monday and Tuesday, you heard us read it here. Particularly, we particularly refuse to put your own version of what made the news, because we know that you had a stand, you had a press briefing in the course of the week. You were in the forefront of kicking against these charges. So we deliberately left your own part there so that you tell us, we hear from the horse's mouth. What do you think culminated in the protest from your point of view? And the question is being asked: is the Nigerian Shippers Council effective as a maritime, the economic regulator of the Nigerian maritime sector?
Thank you for your question. Yeah, if you want to look at the establishment of the council, from the inception from 1978 to 2004, when it became a federal act, you can say that the Nigerian Shippers Council has been very effective, and that's where we do have a seasonal appointment with the council. But you see, I want to believe that. Oh, thank you for having me. All right. So, since from the inception of the Nigerian Shippers Council from 1978 to 2004, when they becomes an act of cap, we all joined Shippers Council, despite the fact they did not have a legislative power that were very so effective. But you can all agree with me that then we do have a 16 professionals headed the council who know the horns and intricacies and everything to do in the ports. But since we have a political appointments in the council, the things have become the state of imbeciles. That's when the shipping and terminal operator operated with impunity in the industry. Let me tell you, on the 1st of this year, ICTS in Port Harcourt increased their charges.
Okay.
Nothing was done. We all those who
on
with
the
that.
1st of January 2026.
Yes, ICTX in One increased their charges. The Shippers Council tore their eyes off from the place. Hence, we suspect that the head of the council has lost the control of the council, or probably it doesn't have the interest of the citizens of this country for him to fold his hand to that extent. However, the MSC wrote a letter on the 24th of December commencing increment of the facts again as well, because they were copying their counterpart in Port Harcourt. Yeah. And don't forget at the last quarter of the year, what as well make an increment. We wrote a letter to the Shippers Council. Let's talk to you. Things is becoming uneasy, and we begin to have a impediment to ease of doing business in this country. This man never gave a chance. He does not operate to open door policy where he will listen to the cry of the citizens. And that's what has brought the protest. You could believe that people will not just engage in protest, but we are helpless and being pushed to the wall. We realize, and prior to that, a letter has been sent to the president for this, that look, it's better you return a citizen professional to the council Otherwise, Nigeria will be eliminated from the Committee of Maritime Nations. So that's why the protest. And now we folding our heart to see what's going to be the result of this. Because it's no matter of being suspended the increment. It's a matter of being able to expatiate what brought increments. For God's sake, most of these ships are turning up, make profits. They declare profit, they did not do anything new, no equipment, no salary increment, no community support.
Okay.
And if the government should even examine their taxation, and I believe most of these people will compromise in tax to this country, which is the area we are looking at. So if council have the interest and they want to really want to really perform to the heart that established them, they should not be an avenue for increase in the port charges. They rather to control increase. Ask me, what are the rationale behind the increase?
Was it stated? Did they tell us?
There's no justification for that. Because they lost control, nobody's checking on them. They all be operating the way they like. And that's why we say enough is enough. We cannot continue to fold our hand, and then all the business should be diverted from Nigeria, or the national government will lose the revenue.
All right, Otuba, I can see the passion with which you're speaking, but I have a question, and this is a question. It's been bothering me, and I believe it's been bothering Dilly, and it's been bothering a lot of Nigerians. Why is it that the Shippers Council is consistently being said to shut their doors against the Nigerian people?
That's what exactly I told you, that since the exit of Azam Bello, things have never been the same in Nigeria Shippers Council. I have to be honest with you. Why? Probably.
Sorry, sir. Why is it that the name keeps cropping up again? It's Azam Bello. That's the only professional that has. I mean, everybody talks about
because
as the head of the
really, because his record has not been broken. Because he's a seasoned professional that added. You compare Shippers Council of Azam Bello to the Adewale of the CJ of Customs.
Okay.
You understand? You cannot compare with Ali before Adewale. You understand? So now I have to be honest with you. If you remember, there's somebody before Akuta did not finish his term.
Yeah.
Because the Shippers Council is almost go to the extinction.
Yeah.
So that's why we cry to the government that it's high time they look at the maritime of this country. Otherwise, it's going to be a story.
Okay, what was the content of your letter to the presidency?
The context is that the way the increasing in shipping and terminal operators, port charges is becoming alarming, and things is becoming uncontrollable, and this is drawing inflations, and the cargoes is being diverted to other countries, and we realize that we need to allow the federal government on these issues. That's the content, and we actually emphasize in that letter the government should return the seasoned professional to head the Shippers Council, not these political leaders that they do not have interest where they are. What interest they have is quite different to the intentions.
Sorry, sir. You made a veiled reference to the fact that the ES does not entertain complaints, or he does not see people. Are you saying that?
What are the open door policy are they running? What are the proper engagement they have with stakeholders? What are the training they provide to stakeholder? What are the supports? It's become an avenue. If you look at the antecedent of this present EX at the Nigeria Shippers Council, he will be given an award on increase. However, we will charge his name to Mr. Increase. Yes.
Okay.
Because you can look at the trade. All of the shipping are operating with impunities. Nobody to check them.
But the man is a seasoned lawyer, or a PhD holder in law. So one will imagine that he should be able to at least administer an entity like the Nigerian Shippers Council.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not doubting his profession, but you cannot compare that with the Maritimes, and even the interest is in paramount. Let me tell you this.
Okay.
And the fault that the best engineer that make most of this, the V6 engine, is never been an engineer. But those are the people, they don't stay in the office, they don't have interest, they have the political ambitions, they don't care that maritime is very sensitive. Let me tell you something. Maritime is the catalyst of any economy of any country in this world. You cannot undermine the maritimes. It's very sensitive. You understand? And these are the avenue where the government is making money before the evolution of petroleums. So we cannot afford our ones that you do know how many jobs we lose in the industry. Because you should be talking about trade facilitation. You should be trying to protect both import and export. Look at the state that the naira was used to be very weak. Of course, it's still weak, but it's better than how it was a year ago. You understand? One of the prime reasons is that there was not foreign currency coming in this country. There was no investor ready to come to this country. And those ship and terminal operators, what they do is to exploit the citizens of this country and cast away the money to their country. Let me tell you something. The increase was not jump-out about 2 years ago. Why? Because that time we have gridlock, which give them money on rents and demurrage. Okay. As soon as the gridlock is away, there's no gridlock, no traffic there. They started coming to increase again.
Hold on. You just raised an issue. Are you trying to say that the shipping companies, terminal operators, had a hand in the gridlock?
I did not say that was opportunity for them to exploit the citizens of this country, because there must be a review of the concession agreement when the road was building the road. You must be able to have some prior 21 years demurrage free or have the interest of this country. But you could believe that these people, they are so wicked. What they need to slide you charges, they don't care the consequence on the economy of this country or the people, what the people is feeling. A lot of businesses are died.
Okay, I'm gonna take a. I'm gonna say this. It says there is a mandate given to Shippers Council as economic regulator of the ports. 1, market rules. 2, ensure tariffs reduction. 3, quality service, access to facilities, and to provide incentives to port operators. I mean, if each time we look at the Shippers Council and they tell you that they have given them, is it power without authority?
Without authority. That's what they keep saying.
So how do we marry it with this and what they're doing?
Let me tell you, I was supporting to being in the National Assembly to defend the bill for Nigeria Shippers Council, because we are interested in this country and how the maritime will be projected. Because as far as Nigeria is being blessed, this is supposed to be a hub for West Africa.
Yeah.
And but the case is becoming otherwise because of the impediments that affect the business in this country, right? So at that time we have a proper engagement during the Asabelo. There was no even legal back in there, but things were going, because you see this man from one place to another place,
he was a handsome person.
Yes. You understand what's engaging people. He knows the rules. He knows that what he's doing over there. You understand? He decides what he's doing there. So for what you have just mentioned, have the present Nigeria Shippers Council lived to that? No. Absolutely no. Because the primary interest is to protect importers and exporters, which you have just mentioned over there. They were not doing this. That's why we have those increase. Okay, tell me, who approved the ICTX increment in Port Harcourt 1st of this country?
1st of January.
1st of January. Now we were having the MSC as well. And let me tell you something, MSC is the worst shipping company you can ever see about your refund. They will make sure you do not get your refund more than 3-4 months, and they will make sure that you do not get enough.
That's the deposited container deposit.
Yes.
Getting the refund.
Yes. And those are the people militating against the container insurance scheme. And we are working on it.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a container insurance scheme.
Yes.
To take care of the container deposit.
Those are the people that guard against the maritime development of this country. And it's at time the Minister of Land and Marine Economy, the President, they look critically to these issues.
All right. I don't know if you are aware, people have also complained. Now I'm taking this to the doorsteps of the shipping companies.
Okay.
People have complained that if a container is missing, the empty, if it is missing, that the shipping lines charge for those containers in dollars rather than in naira. And I'm asking, are we saying that that particular industry is dollarized?
Well, I cannot say specifically. I can't say anything about that. But me, I've never experienced it, and I've never got a complaint from my members and such of that. But I do know that these people, they can't do anything, because they operate, like I said, they operate with impunity, and they are not being checked. So It's that information needs to be investigated.
Okay, so I'm putting it on your doorstep. We'd like you to look into it because we've had complaints. Quite a number of people have complained. Yeah. Now, coming to Shippers Council, we heard there is a bill before Mr. President.
Yeah.
To give them more
Power.
teeth and power. Do you think that signing that bill into law would change the narrative that you're talking about now?
Well, what I've seen after the engagement of this bill, no matter if that bill comes up, if you do have a seasoned professional head in Shippers Council, the situation will be worse than this. Because that time, the revenue will be coming to Shippers Council because most of I don't know if you've gone through the bill, there's sanctions for both freight forwarder, shipping, and terminal operator who probably flood the rules. So if you flood the rule, you'll be sanctioned to pay some fines. So I think there could be avenue for Shippers Council to make money. But without a seasoned professional in that place, the situation will be worse.
So what you're actually saying now is that it's like a bad workman complaining about the tools.
Exactly. No matter what
kind of tool,
no matter the revolutions, if you don't have a good data, you can't get a good governance.
Okay, this issue of free days for demurrage given by shipping lines, who regulates it? Is it the normal standard in the industry? Some people will say, we give you 5 days, we give you 1 week, we give you 3 days. I'm asking this question because we know that most times the containers themselves, when they arrive, there's a procedure to clear them from customs. And sometimes they get delayed because the agents probably do not have the funds. So at what point do that start counting?
Thank you for that again. You see, the issue of clearance times, it depends on the shipping company. Okay. Normally, you could have a very good shipper, you are in 21 days free from the origin of the container. Okay. Some will not agree, some will agree. But the best thing I want to tell you is that to have a clearance within 72 hours is the best at the international best standard. What important will you keep your container in the port? That's what of a rate of investment? That's not too good. But I want to tell you that there are a lot of impediments that affect the clearance. One, bank, you cannot exonerate Nigerian banks. Sometimes you pay your duty, it doesn't get to that place for weeks. If you remember, I responded to First Bank and other bank at that time. What they did is apology. But apology does not solve your rent.
Who pays the cost?
That's why this government should what they call a compensatory law.
Okay.
When there's a compensatory law and this type of issue is that they should be penalized. You remember the time we were Fontaine, we do have a very perennial issue in the port. And we wrote to the House about this issue as well. These people need to be sanctions. Apology does not replace your loss. Yeah. So we must be frantic. The government must be very strict if they want people to comply in this country.
Somebody should take responsibility.
Yes.
All right. So, what is your take? When we talk about concession of the terminal agreement, concession of the terminals and all of that, how has that? Has it worked? Is it working? Is it helping to bring down the cost of business, or is it increasing the cost of business?
Well, see, to me, it's originally there are two things should be done. One, you should make the port effective and reduce the cost. But let me tell you something. MP themselves, they are not operating on a good level. Remember a few years ago when they need to renew the concessions, the Nigerian Shippers Council was excluded from the concession agreement, which was very unfair. But because we are having a very good leader at that time that have a relation with the stakeholder, we cry out that how do you exclude regulator from concession agreements? I think that's the state dragging. You understand? Then another thing I pay is that if you remember about 3 decades ago, we called 7 PS port surcharge, which was being collected by Nigeria Port Authority. That is being collected before concession agreement. As I'm speaking to you, we are still paying that money. Where does that money go? Because if you concede the port and you're collecting money from these people, and you are still collecting 7% surcharge from the people, and you are crying about 4% FOB. Don't you think that the Maritimes need to come together,
So-
the government agencies need to come together, the stakeholders need to come together, the technocrats of industry need to come together to address these issues if we want our port to be efficient and productive?
Now, who do you now cry to when there's this multiplicity of charges and multi-layered in nature? I mean, the Nigerian Shippers Council, like my colleague here said, they complain that their laws, they do not have the power to punish or to execute certain things they need to do. Then you have the MPA also, carrying out multiple charges. Then who is actually in charge of what? What is it? The whole thing is all muddled up, is it not?
Really, let me tell you something. I'm still emphasizing system professional to head every sectors. Then you can get the good there. You see, some people, they don't think about prosperity. When you think about prosperity, you'll be able to perform very well. And that's your legacy will speak for you. As I'm below, I only met this man maybe 2 or 3 times in my life. You understand? But you can see the name still coming more every time.
Everybody.
You understand? That time there was no act to sanction anybody from Shippers Council, but still we got a good result. Because you can see this man everywhere, visiting everywhere, both stakeholder and everyone. Then you can see the CG2 will move around. You understand? We are not talking about 100% perfections, but we are talking having an interest of where you are. And that's why MPA will be making a decision on the same industry, excluding some other. You understand? So Shippers Council alone should not even be excluded. Every other people stakeholder must be holistically engaged.
There is, sorry, sir. There is this rumor about interagency, unhealthy interagency competition.
Conflict.
Do you think that is also affecting this? Because part of what the people are saying is that if Nigerian Shippers Council is given the power to really do its job, it's going to affect some agencies in that they will also regulate some of these agencies like the MPA. Do you think the rivalry is becoming unhealthy?
Let me tell you something. If you remember that immigration and customs,
Awesome. And the NDLA used to be together.
They used to be together.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So there is a reason why, if they know they are from the same family, there should be a conflict, a disagreement or between them. You understand? And if they believe they are working toward the same trophy, that's will be having an issue. Because this, what you said, you remember in February last year, the Minister of Land and Marine Economy had a summit in Marriott Hotel talking about 25% reduction in port charges. But thereafter, if you look at the trend of the industry, what we have is more than 25% increase in port operations. Secondly, and thirdly, he proposed national single window taking over soon. Well, what is the futures that national single window will take over in the industry? What's the reason that some people will not sabotage? Because most of these people, it's not because they are rivaling, they are sabotaging the progress of this country, and we must all cry together. Look at the good work you people are doing here. You are doing very well. You've taken your time to learn about the industry. So those are the things we will continue to cry to the government, we'll continue to protect, we'll continue to agitate. Thank you so much.
All right, let me, in all of this, sometimes I get very confused, but I know that in some quarters, people have advocating for the complete scrapping of the Nigerian Shippers Council. And the argument is that people have said that, it's something, in other climes, it's private. Do you agree with it that the Shippers Council has not done its bit and should be scrapped?
No. See, I believe in the sanitization. It's rather be sanitized than be scrapping. When it was established in 1978 or 79, before 2004, we defined, there's a rationale behind the establishment. And I tell you something, I did join the Nigerian Shippers Council activities. You understand? And I'm sure everybody joined. What they needed to do is to sanitize that place, is to look at the kind of leadership they provide in that. I'm sure the staff of Shippers Council will not be happy sometimes. I'm telling you the truth. But because they don't have the impetus to say it out, you understand? So to me, I want to believe we should not scrap any council or an organization, rather to redefine them, to see how we can make them work according to the act that they established them. Thank you.
You are in the field,
Yeah.
and you're president of your association. Looking at the way the blue economy is going, do you think that there is a synergy between Shippers Council, NIMASA, and MPA? If that synergy is not there, what do we do to ensure it's there?
Yeah, I don't know the perspective you have addressed this question, but believe me, I want to say there's a synergy. The only thing that must be absent is effectiveness.
Okay.
Because you might synergize and there's no effectiveness, people are not coming out with something. So obviously there's a synergy among them. But how, on what areas are we talking about? And how do we assess the relationship among them? Those are the areas you have to look at it. So to me, I want to believe that synergy, like I said, there must be a review of policies. There must be assessment of compliance to determine. You see, just about the master I just mentioned, we all read about the Cabotage Finance Fund. This fund. Has it take place? No. We address them about the data collation at that time that, look, collect the data very well. Check some of these companies must be in extinctions, so you don't give money to a dead body.
Yeah.
You understand?
Sure.
We told them, but as I'm talking to you, it's not coming up to today. And it's so sad, I'm so shameful for Nigeria not to have a national carrier. We should have a national carrier. We should be able to do everything for Nigeria by Nigerians. So I think our effectiveness is to look at about their relationship, not that they do not have a synergy. What are they doing?
Okay, sir. Sir, the national window, a single window is coming up in a few months' time, about March or so. With all these problems and loopholes and lacunas within the operations of the different agencies, how well do you think it will function, sir? Helping the custom to do their business and do it more effectively.
Yeah, you see, let's keep our finger crossed.
Okay.
Because why I'm saying that, if you look at the Odogun, believe me sincerely, it's one of the good platforms that Nigeria has gone to, because it's very detailed and very transparent. You understand? And if it was years back, we think we'll not be able to do it. But this has come to stay now. Kuto to the custom management have done this. So if the government really want us to synergize, want us to come together, national single window will be very effective. Of course, there must be obstacles, there must be hurdles, there may be a lot of issues. But I'm telling you, it can be done.
Okay. Now, the issue that led to the protest within the week has not fully been resolved, because what the Nigerian Shippers Council says that the MSC, that's the shipping company, now should go and talk to the stakeholders, which means that maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months down the line, the increase in charges will also be affected again. What do you think should happen?
I think things will be under control.
How, sir?
Yes, because we did not do picketing, we wholly protest to attract attention of you people, industry, the maritime people, the maritime journalists, the media crew, the governments. That's what we did. It was not a picketing. Yeah. You understand? And we have called on government that is review those other increase, especially what ICT, review them. They need a reviewed. Suspend.
That's downward review.
Yes, downward. Those one who has arbitrarily increased, especially this year and last year. Let's get a review.
Otuba, you said you didn't picket. You just had a protest.
Yes.
Now, if you recall, before these shipping lines did this increment, they came out and said that the Shippers Council had given them a tacit approval. Why are you guys not holding the Shippers Council responsible? Why are you holding the shipping lines responsible?
I just told you that this is a man that does not operate open door policy. This is a man that does not engage stakeholders. And this is a man that you write a letter, no response. And the only response to have is avenue for shipping and terminal increase. That's avenue there. Instead of the person, the man in charge to protest import and exporter, he rather protect those increased charges for citizens of this country. That's what I just told you. So we have been put to the wall, and we are helpless. We have to come on that. Nigerians help us. That's the purpose of that protest.
So is this a case of maybe a cat regulating lions now, the activities of lions? Because it seems that, to me, the shipping companies are much more powerful than the regulator itself. Because if they cannot do anything and they are just maybe yes sir meant to the shipping operators, why are they there in the first place?
That's what we have just discussed, that we need a seasoned professional to hand that counsel. That's what I told you. We all know they were still on this stage during the Assam Bello, right? And Assam Bello was able to control everything. He was able to engage everyone. And you can see the smile in the Nigerian Shippers Council at that time. But now, everybody in Shippers, they are not happy. I can see when I go there. So that's why I say the government should return seasoned professional to head Nigerian Shippers Council. And we can all record that the person before Akuta did not finish his time.
But
why?
October, the Shippers Council will disagree with you, and I'll tell you why. The Shippers Council in, I think it was December, they said that they had 46 complaints in the whole
year. In November.
Yes, that they had the whole year, that all they had was just 46 complaints, and that they sorted out 26.
I'm not doubting that, because when people know they cannot solve their problem, why do you go there? When I told you that they were, no, you cannot go there, the door is being closed. So why do you waste your time to that place? Do you understand what I'm saying? Why?
This is VOP 90.3 FM, and you're still on
Maritime and Border Show with Little Tommy and
Chilaka. And we have Otuba here. Interestingly, I mean, I couldn't but just laugh. You know, when it's like saying, why would you go to the hospital when you know that you won't get a doctor to attend to you? You know, the phone lines are going to be open now, and as usual, you can reach us directly on 0700 903 903 903.
You can also reach us on 0817 175 6338.
0803 6929 933.
Expect your calling.
And you can send your WhatsApp messages. Be rest assured that Dilly will be reading the messages as we progress.
Actually, I do have one or two messages already coming in.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. It says, good afternoon, VOP team. My name is Samson from Ikorodu. I'm a clearing agent. MSC is the worst shipping company in terms of refund. October says so before. I have 3 refunds not yet paid since October, and I lost empty container with Comet Shipping Company, and we had paid in dollars to their foreign company, not in Naira. Thanks for the job. Thank you, Samson. Another one says, good afternoon. Kindly clear road on the consignment being diverted to other countries. Those that are doing that must have interest in it. I'm Gideon. Well, that is talking about the
cargo diversion.
Cargo diversion.
First, I will respond to Samson. Samson should get in touch with us. We will make sure we get a refund. I don't know if it does not belong to any platform, but let him get in touch. We'll get a refund with MSC, and we'll get it. Because now we have a plan now that even we'll be getting interest for them. If it will take a litigation, we'll do that. And we'll try to get across the EFCs on these issues, because this is the economic sabotage.
That's a very nice one. So listeners and stakeholders, you heard it from the horse's mouth. Otumba is here. He'll solve the problem for you. If you have any unpaid
refund,
please.
Yeah, but Otumba, like I said, I don't. It's not a question, but it's also keying into what you said. I keep asking myself, is the Nigerian Shippers Council for the Nigerian people or for the foreigners? Because everybody is saying that the terminal operators, the shipping lines, these are all foreign companies, and that the Shippers Council is always siding with them. Like you said, is it because of the head, or is it just because of the way they are fashioned to be?
Well, Prince Chilaka, I've just told you that they've deviated from the act that established them to protect both importer and exporters. And now they become an avenue for increase from the shipping and terminal, hence will change the head to Mr. Increase. Because we look at the profile and the pedigree of the increase that took place during this time is very alarming.
Okay.
So if we're looking at it, are we also not looking at the fact that, maybe the change is as a result of the fact that most agencies of government have become, what do you call them? They become
revenue
generated. Maybe it's part of the new phase of revenue generation.
Yeah, because they are competing in that area the way it is. Everybody wants to generate revenue.
How do you generate revenue? When people running at loss, when people are paying rent, what area, what avenue the Judge Council says they want to generate revenue? Are they not getting subvention from the government or what? I didn't understand this. What we are saying that maintain the act that established you and maintain the visions, the missions of the council. Protect Nigeria business. Most business has gone in extinctions for one thing or the other. And they have allowed this shipping and terminal operating with highest impunity I cannot think about. If I've got another word to address the way these people operating in the industry, just 1 second you open the line, somebody have got a 3 refunds. Your money with them, and they are not giving to you. When they give it to you, would they pay with interest? No. That's why I'm saying that if Shippers Council cannot engage us effectively and let us have the hope, return our hope back to the council, we'll know what to do. We will not fold our hands.
All right. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Spilaka and Stormy.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
This is Chief Joseph, calling from Okafo, Badagry.
It's like you're close to your radio. Can you just step away from your radio, please? Go ahead.
Okay. I greet your guest.
Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon.
You're welcome, sir.
The whole thing that we have read out, they are all marathon because this is a country that if I say we are navigating to somewhere, I don't really actually know where we are navigating to. The creation of both Shippers Council and the Master and all of them there, it's everybody is just operating on their own based on political inclinations.
Thank you, sir.
And that is the major problem we are facing in this country. They are created based on political, apologies, so that some people can have a place they will post them to go and say they are working. We are talking of Shippers Council. During our heyday, they don't have any voice. Even when Hassan was there, truly the man was cooperating with the operators. But then, implementation of whatever agreement you reach always come to, nothing less. I can recall when I wrote a letter to them concerning the condition of our boys going to shipping company to release. One of the shipping companies was a hell. Where we beat them with their documents and everything. I have to write on the basis of our union then. Okay. What did they do? Nothing happened. It was just like that. The only people that interviewed me was the MPAs, sort of. But at the end of the day, all of them, everything died off. So what am I trying to bring up here is that the rulership of this nation, you are talking about blue economy, which was just created. You are talking about what we can get from that place.
Yes.
The rulership of a nation, once you are not upright, there's nothing you can do for every other segment to be upright. That's the problem we are facing in this country.
You're right.
If you go to all those places you are talking about, they are stooges, appointees of those people who claim to be in power. That's the problem we are facing. Professionals cannot come there. If you want to prove you're a professional, they reel you off. So, until by the grace of God, if we can have a good leader of Nigeria as a general, that is the only way we can. The maritime economy alone can make Nigeria stand firm. But what is happening there is that only the importers are being extorted seriously every day.
You are right, sir.
So nobody is taking time to say, what do we do? NPA, in their own responsibility, they have not been able to do it. Make sure that the road that leads to the port are very, very okay. No. Many other things that are happening to the average importer is a mystery. So I will only beg God that at the end of the day we have a good leader that will now open the economy, allow the regions to be open for ship to go and bat anywhere they want to bat.
Amen.
We only concentrated in Lagos, allowing other areas to have high freight,
Right.
which is not correct. It's deliberate. So Prince Chilaka, I congratulate you and Toby because that job you are doing is very, very fantastic, but they will not know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Joseph.
Thank you.
Otoba Frank. Yeah, my namesake, interestingly. So you heard what the speaker said, and I think it's a general picture everybody's painting. How do we get out of this quagmire?
Yeah, by advocating, by we do what we need to do, and by what you are doing here right now, and by the reason why I'm here with you right now, and by the reason why the caller has just called as well.
So keep talking and saying it.
You can see he talks. He doesn't talk about himself. He talks from the mind, from the experience, and you can see he had the love of this country. So let us continue to advocate.
Thank you so very much, sir.
All right, so go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, sir. In reaction to some of the things that our callers are calling for, if there's this issue of multiple checks on the way in terms of government agencies. Although we are talking about Nigerian Shippers Council today, they are also, there's this case of they also conniving with the Maritime police for station, because always callers calling to say that Maritime police calls them, holds their goods once they are cleared from the port a few meters away. They will block their cargoes, and then you ask them what is happening, and they've got to find out that they are working in cahoot of the Nigerian Shippers Council.
Yeah,
What do you have to say about this, sir?
Mr. Dilly, there's nothing wrong for security personnel to stop anyone or anybody when that is suspicious. You understand? But what is concerning us is abuse of power. And the rationale behind what they are doing is not on the national security as well. Because when you conducted a search of other containers, you delay them, they pay rent, they do delay in delivery and sort of things. At the end of the day, how many people are free prosecuted? That's why there must always, those are the reason why I'm telling you, those council, they are failing on their acts. Because you delay an importer for a week. Do you know how much that is it to all the shipping company? At the end of the day, nothing is being done to that person. You understand? So, but if we have got an umbrellas that are address some issues, we will be able to avert most of these things. But because everything is in disarray, that's why everybody begin to do what they like. So I'm not saying Maritime police should not check if they had a news or anything, but for God's sake, examination has taken place in the port,
And
police are the part of it.
And they're part of it.
And you are now stopping people again.
A few meters away from
You see, we do have this issue in custom before. That outside the port, you have FOU, strike forces, all of them
They're still
on
there.
the same.
FOU still there.
You understand? So, but this is wrong. This is wrong. And you realize most of these people, they don't have integrity. Because you have integrity, you should be able to organize where you are.
Sir, do you think it's a question of not being properly educated as to the reason why they are where they are? They're employed by the Nigerian government. Because it's still the same Nigerian government that talks about the ease of doing business. The same Nigerian government that's the parents now, their parents that are employing these different agencies. They are the ones that talk about the growing the economy, talking about provision of jobs for the teeming population, and so many benefits that should be derived from the maritime sector. Yet, these individual agencies, they work hand in glove to thwart some of these principles why they were set up, why the government has set them up. Why do you think so? Is it lack of education or lack of focus on what they are giving mandates?
Okay, I'll ask you a question. If it's lack of education, why don't you leave out the container to be going? And they will not stop your container. That's the rationale behind it. You suspect sharp practice in that area.
Corruption.
I wouldn't say about sharp practices. Because why I'm saying this is that this is a container being examined by all government agencies in the port. And you stop the container for no reasons. That is totally unfair. And that's totally an impediment to ease of doing business and does not comply with international best standard. Which country can you reference to? In Benin, Cotonou, Togo, as soon as your container got to a place, they put a tracker to a container. Nobody stops you on the road. Until they track the container is not going to the right place, there could be a suspect.
So why don't we do that in Nigeria?
That's why the revolution will take place very soon.
Revolution within the industry.
Yes, maritime revolutions, economic revolutions.
Okay, I want to bring something to my colleagues' notice here. It's a tweet by a journalist. Of course, we know him, Fisayo Shoyombo. He says, on behalf of all smugglers, gun runners, and lovers of illicit and contraband items, I write to congratulate you on the December appointment of Deputy Controller of Customs, DCC Bolaji Adegun, son of notorious smuggler Sokapao, as a new acting customs area controller of the Regulator Terminal Command in Lagos, not long after his elevation as the Deputy Controller of Customs, DCC of Onne Seaport, Rivers State. We all honestly await the elevation of Sokapao's second son Razak to a similar or even more exalted position, knowing that two heads are better than one. Cheers to a beautiful, smuggling full year. This from Fisayo Shoyombo. Prince Francis Chilaka, what do you have to say? This address to you.
You're putting me on the spot, but I think we need to change this narrative of having social media banter and this social media trial. If you have a problem with somebody in government, you should take it out with the person first by going to court, or you seek for a proper way to handle it. You are looking at a young man, the DCG, who is in charge of KLT right now.
He's a DC.
He's a DCG, Deputy Controller of Customs.
DCC.
Yes, and you're looking. You've forgotten the hard work he put in himself to get to where he is. You didn't tell us that he jumped fence to become where he is. Yeah. But you're now looking at whatever grievances you've had with his father in the past. Because the father, to start with, is not even a custom officer.
It's not a customs officer.
It was just a clearing agent. So, you're taking the father's sin out on
the son.
For me, it is totally unacceptable. It is totally wrong. And we should not encourage such thing in our society. This pulling down syndrome needs to end. We need to find a way to end it.
While we are seeking to correct the anomalies within the society, we should also learn to know when not to go into things that tarnish the image of others because of our personal concerns.
If he had come out to say that the young man did not follow due process in the customs to get his elevations, we would say yes. But you're not looking at that. You're not looking at his hard work. You're looking at whatever you think his father has done. And if you think his father has done some things in the past that are not proper, have you taken it up with the police?
Legally,
have you gone to the court?
And anyway, I'll give my take on that. You see, you can't, if you are angry, seek justice.
Exactly.
Because there is a cyber attack law now.
Yeah.
You can't be saying anything against anybody anyhow without having a proof. One, and secondly, if father, I know somebody who's a president. They say his father is something here. He deal with drugs, this and that. It doesn't affect the person. It's being voted for. And beside that, if you are a deputy controller of any, you don't work in isolations. You work in team. And there's a procedure for any consignment from the arrival to the exit from the port. So, single-handedly, you cannot do that. As a matter of fact, no customer has an access to or fund. You pay through bank transactions.
Yeah.
So, and there's a manifest that shows that those consignments arrival in each port. So I don't know from the perspective that because the person as a journalist who said should be a technocrat and should be able to learn. So you should be careful when alleging people what you cannot prove. That's my advice. And whatever anger, please resolve it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think Mr. Shoyombo should be circumspect with whatever he writes. And my own perspective, if you have facts about somebody, illegal activity of anybody in government, I think it's incumbent on you as a person, as a Nigerian, to bring it out. But you don't go attacking an officer of the, within the Nigerian space. Within the Nigerian space, because you'll have an issue to grind with the family.
No, but at the end of the day, if you look at it, it's probably not an issue, because if it's an issue you have to grind with the family, you should be able to send your listen to EFCC and make a formal complaint, But it's what it is. But I would, like you said, we need to be clear on some issues and the things we do.
Sir, please, I just want to ask you, I need to ask you this question. What do you think that the political interest of the Executive Secretary of Nigerian Shippers, because we all know from indication that he's interested in a political position, it's affecting his job as the Executive Secretary?
Well, possibly, I'm not sure. But
he said that he's running for office.
But since I don't know if he has officially declared that, and I don't know if the law permitted someone operating, heading a council or a place and the contesting, I don't know. But since his exceptions, there has not been effectiveness in the council. So I wouldn't know the difference there and now. So it is left to him and the people that work with him. But what we are feeling, the heat in the industry is that the charges, the tariff hikes that is passing to us and to the citizens of this country, it is what is alarming and what we don't like, and that's where we are crying out on that. And if it has been a very good leader, your deputy could as well perform credibly. Let me tell you something. But because the way that place is being organized, and because it does not even who knows who to relate with, because it's not a seasoned professional ES.
No, but you see, I totally want to disagree at this point. It's not about being seasoned. You made a point that if he was a good leader, his deputy would perform. I don't think we have this problem in Nigeria, because you found out that those who deputize, call them vice president, call them...
They're merely seen as spare tires.
They're not, yes. Is it not a serious chronic problem that needs to be addressed?
Yeah, because, of course, I think the review should not be for only one sectors. Maybe that's because when you are taking up an assignment to a job, your job role will be enumerated there. So if your job role is enumerated that you cannot perform, it's not left to you to be seconded. And if what it can be changed, it should be changed, to be sincere. Nobody is not useful in an organization. Yeah. It's the way that it's even be organized. I tell you, because even some places when things are not going right, they bring in consultants that, okay, things is getting out of hand, we want to revive this place. They bring in consultants temporarily to be part of the teams, and things will be changed. It's about interest, the willingness to do something or to contribute to the where you are is very paramount.
That's a salient point you just made there. He can bring in consultants. Why do you think he's not doing that?
I'm talking on open ground. But yeah. if you are referring to Nigeria Shippers Council, there's a lot of staff that are willing to do something right there. There are a lot of staffs. What they need us to do is to, what I think they need us to do is to sanitize that place, is to try as much as possible to come back to the heart to establish them. It's a matter to bring themselves together. I tell you something, they need stakeholder engagement. Okay. You need everybody, either staff or no staffs. You can't work in isolation. It's about maritime. It's about the people. He's there to serve people. They are not an hospital. That's not a chamber. But the work, you need to be on the field. You need to even go out and check what kind of equipment are these ship and terminal operators having. What is dwelling time? There must be a relationship between themselves with other agencies. What was the last time they had meeting with the Sun, with the NAFDAC, all those things? The only people that instigated meeting is customs. Yeah. It's customs that they invited them. So we are all there. But how many times have they done that? But if you remember, during the time of Hassan Bello, there was a time that some of us was even taken to Ghana to go and understand or study the port operation over there. How many times are these people, the Jimmy and the Akuta that left, to have done this? They took freight forwarder out of the country, look and see how the port is being operating. And you understand, how many times are they provide trainings?
Obviously, comparing the Shippers Council, what we are doing now, to the Nigerian Customs Service, like comparing the US with probably Burkina Faso in terms of.
I thought you were going to say Venezuela.
All right. I mean, knowing the kind of things that your association is doing within the industry, how are you people treating this whole menace of area boys and the truckers?
You see,
because you use them, use their services.
You see, let me tell you something. The issue of area boys is not used to be where in those days when we started these things. So today, like somebody like us, no matter who area boy is, who back and speak to you. You understand? So what I realize is that the truckers, they are more or less area boys as well. Yes, they are more or less. I tell you something, because they are always on street together.
Okay.
They are always on street together. And before we got to this stage, we are together. Because some of them will sleep at ports. That time when they we sleep at ports overnight. Your container comes in the night. You can't leave your container. You stay with your container until tomorrow. So at the end of the day, no matter how they are, we'll hit together and drink together there. So life is stage by stage. You understand? So no matter how troublesome anyone, depends how you speak to that person, how you live with that is very important. You understand? And don't forget that when you are talking about area, but it's maybe you are talking about extortions from them, because that's an area where it is. Of course, the extortions is everywhere. It depends on you and how you organize yourself. And like why we are protecting about Ike is become extortion. You understand? Okay. So extortion has degree, has levels, because that's where they complain from. You understand? A lot of people who you think they're area boy, they have truck.
Oh yeah?
Yes, they have truck. They'll come together now. It's time of cooperative. The 10 of them will join together. They will come from bus to this and this. They upgraded themselves, I'm telling you. Okay. Because you just find out technically most of them they fall to that circumstance because lack of jobs. Do you understand? So it is a way, and that's where we are talking of engagement. Engagement. If you are being posted a trouble zone and you know how to engage properly, you turn that place to become a evangelist zone.
Okay.
You understand? So we need to know how to approach these people. And sometimes, the drug guy you are talking about, sometimes when they take container for us, we have issues with them as well. And some of them cannot even rate TDO. You understand? So the issue is versa. What I believe that can solve the problem generally in this life or in this country or in any area is engagement. Listen to the cry of each other. Work out solutions.
October Frank.
Thank you.
You are now speaking. I wouldn't want to insult you, but I'm saying you're speaking like Gumi now, saying we must negotiate. We must negotiate. And I keep asking, how do you negotiate with non-state actors? How do you negotiate with a man who feels it is his right to stop you on the road and because he imported the car and extort money from you? How do you negotiate with such a person?
When you ask me, you say relationship with truckers and area boys.
No, I said with your organization. How are you helping to curb the menace of area boys to truckers.
Let me tell you, we are professionals. I cannot say specifically or substantially any experience with area boys.
No, you use the trucks.
Of course. How do I take my containers?
And the
Do you understand?
truckers don't complain to you. They don't come to your organization to complain.
They do not, I'm telling you. They do not. The only complaint we do have is during the grey locks.
Okay.
When the
Because of
port
the
is
delay.
highly inaccessible. When they need to bath on the road. When they need to sleep days, weeks on the road. We do not have much complaint these days. And I don't know the area where the trucker goes to. I don't know what they have themselves. As far as I'm concerned to you, we do not have any direct complaint with area boys.
Okay.
But whatever the problem area boy is posing, you can engage anybody.
All right. Sir, I have this question I must ask you. I've been itching to ask you this question, and I must.
Okay.
In defense of, sorry, I'm not holding brief for the Shippers Council, but they keep saying this, that you, the stakeholders, the freight forwarders and the licensed customs agents, you make their jobs so untenable too, that in most cases, you take their containers away, the containers of these shipping companies away. For you to return them becomes difficult, extremely difficult. Sometimes your members sell, or stakeholders, they sell them. What do you have to say?
Well,
you don't return this.
Well, I don't know the area they are talking from. Before you can clear any cargoes, you must have a license. Mm-hmm. And this container will attach to your name and to your license. Yeah. So it's traceable. So you can't, because of someone has done things wrong, that others will experience the.
But first and foremost,
the
containers
penalty.
do miss.
Of course, anything can be mixed.
Okay.
Even Uber be mixed. So the container can be mixed. I'm not saying because container man has an accident, it could be right off. So people, we might lost people there, and nobody will be able to explain. You understand? But what I'm saying is traceable. And as far as it's concerned now, Nigeria should be using trackers on their containers. Why are they not putting trackers? Why?
Who is meant to put these trackers? Government?
The shipping company?
Shipping company.
Can track their container where they are? Yeah, you should put tracker to your containers. Because we have container numbers attached to the tracker. Mm-hmm. So you know where the container is. Well, because of their inefficiency as well, and because they want to exploit, you can see someone, a young man that called us, over 3 containers refund that's not given for months. Do they want to? And that might probably be his own profit on that job. Yeah. So do you know what they would have subject that man to? And this is people, you will not be allowed to enter the office. You cannot file a complaint as an individual. They keep operating the way they like in the industry. Let me tell you something.
Their defense is hogwash.
Let me tell you something. During the COVID, the government say no rent, no demurrage, no rent, no nothing. These people, they collected rent and demurrage. They floated the directive federal government.
But I learned they refunded.
How? How would they refund? Well, the normal one did not be refunded. You just add. You understand? So there are a lot of things we bear in this court. We don't complain, and because we don't complain, we don't contest things begin to go worse.
When you say we don't contest or we don't protest, a lot of people come out and tell you that in Nigeria today, when you protest, you have another set of people protesting against the protesters. And we've had, some other guests who have come here to say that each time the Nigerian Shippers Council calls for stakeholders, that they have particular people they invite.
Yeah.
That those people they invite are their stooges. Is that what's going on?
Well, you are right. Generally, when some of them, you see, there's a kind of what gangsterism in every industry.
Okay.
But Maritime one is very pronounced, and it's not limited to Nigeria. I have to be honest with you. Anything with ocean, with digs, and this you are just operating on Shippers Council. We have other impediments that you are not seeing. We have other task force they work against the reason why they've been established in the industry, and we have a lot of what they call mines. We have a lot of resources on the ocean there that due to the insecurity, gangsterism, a lot of things, the government are not even making use of them.
We just talked about the issue of fishery, trawlers for fishing.
You understand? But because a lot of people will probably be taking advantage with foreigners over there. You understand? And the Nigeria is talking about revenue, and there's a leakage somewhere that needed to be used. And there's some people, they know much about this, but they will never advise government. I'm telling you sincerely, we do have a port in this Lagos that shippers they don't even know it's existing.
A port?
Yes, we are the one that took them there. I'm telling you, they came to the office. Yes.
That's alarming.
Yes. They came to the office, and because that's why we have the aviation stakeholders forums. You understand? So they visited the office. That's why you need engagement. You don't know everything. Exactly. It depends how you engage with you learn. It's about the informations. I remember one of my brother that told me that he met someone that is and he asked him, how do you make money? He said, I could not tell you how I make my money. That's my information. You know? But after, if you persist, you might be lucky the person will look, so okay, let me help you. The lot of information that stakeholder conceived. You understand what I'm saying? So we have had an issue. So many things need to. Engagement is very paramount.
It is.
Then I want you to say something. If some people have some people they are relating with and they are not engaging you, they do not padlock your mouth, and that's one of the reasons why you are here. So if you are not engaging me, I'll come and engage the public in this place.
Exactly.
You understand? So if you really have intuitions or the readiness or willingness to do something, nobody can stop you. So that's just the way it is. So Prince,
this is the Maritime and Border Show on VOP 90.3 FM with the Delay Tommy and
Prince Chinaka. Our numbers are still open. We have about maybe another 5 minutes for a call or two. 0700 903 903 903
and 0817 175 6338.
0803 6929 933. We're still with
Otumba Frank Ogunno Jemite, the president of Africa Association of Professional Freight Forwarders and Logistics of Nigeria.
They call them AFLON.
I
mean, how did you guys coin that name?
The way it is, that's the acronym of what you just read.
I mean, because it's quite. Please, can you move from your radio set, please?
AFLON is an AFLON.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, your name and where you're calling from, please.
My name is Philip Sunday.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm a freight forwarder.
Where are you calling in from, Mr. Sunday?
I'm calling from Apapa, Boma Road.
Go on, sir.
And concerning what the man, your guest said there.
Otumba Frank Ogunno Jemite. That's his name.
Just leave it at Otumba Frank.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm a freight forwarder.
Go on, sir.
Concerning what you said about the area boys.
Yeah.
I do clear a car. But sometimes, if we clear a car from the port, from PTML, the area boys will still put us on the road and collect money from us by force. Or they break our glass. Really? And instead, the area boys are not disturbing us. I'm not an area boy. Importer is not an area boy. But they will collect money from us without receipt, which I followed Ankla. We had a meeting. Ankla said there's nothing they can do. So him saying that we and area boys are working together, we are not working together. I want him to clarify that.
Okay, freight forwarder, you call yourself. You are not a trucker. We're talking about trucker and relationship with area boy. But if you are you there?
No, Mr. Sunday.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right, Mr. Sunday. All right. That's what we'll talk about this. Though is what happened to you in person. If you import a car, can happen to not anyone, even if you're on your private car. What I said is that no matter the issue, there must be an engagement.
Yeah.
Hello?
No.
Just make your point, sir.
Okay.
Sir, so in light of the so many anomalies that are happening within the industry, take a critical look at it and advise government on what to do.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the program. Your name
Prince Chilaka, good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir.
This is Joseph calling back.
Okay.
I was just caught by the issue of area boys and the way Otumba was trying to give that answer. I know you wanted even to say why negotiating with anybody called area boy, but you said you made a reference to Gumi. Yeah, I think Otuba should rethink or fine tune whatever you want to bring up as a suggestion. Area boy has no business in business. Their business is where they take their paraga and smoke whatever they want to smoke, because they have missed the mark of towing the normal line of human development. So for them to jump, because that young man who phoned now, a lot of the freight forwarders or customs agents are saturated, both the truckers. They don't know what to do. So the only thing is that as an association head, you should find a way to coordinate other association heads that they will put up a strong letter to the state government, which I heard you said they have started arresting them in some areas of Ikoyi also.
Yes.
That they should come out and make sure that these boys do not disturb the normal flow of trade in the country.
All right, sir.
Because this is just it. There's no means. What do you mean by negotiating with who? On what ground?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
It calls for rethink. Please let us be factual with ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Chief, thank you for your time, for following this program. Thank you for coming back. I really appreciate you, and that has showed the pedigree of interest to the success of this country. Let me reiterate what I said. You see, you cannot fire to fire. As a civilian, a responsible person, you cannot be fighting area boss. The security of the state is the government responsibilities. And I'm just telling you, and let you and I understand critically that most of these people, they are the frontliner during the elections.
Yeah.
They are so as confidence more than you and I. You have understand. And that's why I'm bringing my negotiation. Negotiation could be in two folds. It could be amicable, it could be violent. But I realize that amicable discussions, resolution is matter in every stages. You understand? Thank you so much for calling, Chief.
Right.
Yes, so your advice.
Just
Okay.
give us, just round up in 1 minute.
Yeah.
So my advice that whatever we're going to try to do, we must try to have a stakeholder relationships. And the government should not leave any sectors unchecked. The extortion is too much in this country. It will not only affect anyone, it's going to affect all of us, because this is going to drive inflation and it's going to bastardize the renewed agenda of the government if care is not taken, if government is not a proactive decision and attempt to rehabilitate those abnormalities in the industry. Thank you so much for having me and
Thank
for
you
listening.
for coming.
Thank you,
sir.
thank you,
God
thank
bless you. This is the Maritime and Border Show.
No, go on, put out.
Okay, the essence of this show is to bring to you all the happenings, events, and bring personalities who are well grounded in the activities of within the maritime sector, talk about the problems, profile solutions, give direction and focus to people on how to resolve issues, and make recommendations to government on what to do in order to continue to improve the sector, create jobs, create opportunities, make businesses to grow, and then make Nigerians to have the benefits that are derivable from within the sector. Thank you. This is Delu Tommy.
Yeah, Dilly, thank you. You said it all, and would like to say a very big thank you to our guest, Otuba Frank. It's a pleasure. We welcome you, and we're asking those freight forwarders who are interested to join the association to reach out to him. I'm sure you know his association. And finally, before we go, I want to use just 1 second to say a happy birthday to Chukwu Evangeline Ernest Okoli. You know, happy birthday. Wish you many, many more happy years.
Please, we also need to tell you that, of course, this program is still very much open for sponsorship. You can call me on my personal line on 0802 7590 that's the Tommy.
081-2111-8789. I'm signing out. Next week Sunday we'll be here to give it. This is the dial you cannot afford to miss. VOP 90.3 FM.
Have yourself a wonderful week ahead.